What's going on, people? Today we're going to talk about a very serious set of topics. We're going to talk about rape, we're going to talk about sexual assault, and we're going to talk about getting drunk to smash. There's some comments that was left on some of my previous videos that were not correct, that were spreading false narratives, right? We're going to clean all that up. Welcome, this is Hustlers Kung Fu. If you want to learn how to hustle, if you want to learn how to build a business, and if you're all about building that generational wealth, be sure to subscribe and get on my SMS notification list. Give me your phone number and you'll never miss another live stream again. All right, so what we're going to do is give a little backstory. This came because of what happened in my first dating advice for entrepreneurs. Essentially, this was the situation. When I was in the boarding house and this girl that I worked with at the Gallup organization, she came over to the place. I wanted to smash. She did not. I threw her out into the rain. And a short while later, she came knocking back on the door. She took off clothes. We did what we did. And the person in question said this was rape. I was like, oh, here we go. So we got the moist parade, because I'm going to give you some situations here that you should be aware of, that some things that you should be really paying attention to, and there should be some things that you should understand about the law. Because notice I said rape, sexual assault, getting drunk to have sex, and let's say sexual misconduct. So let's just say that the young lady in question went ahead and said I raped her. So this is what's going to happen. So she's going to report it, and then they're immediately going to come and arrest me, and then I post bond, and then we sort out the mess. So they're going to question her. And actually, they may question her appropriately, that they may not even arrest me, because they're going to like, okay, so what happened? Well, we were having a good time. He wanted to have sex. I didn't. He threw me out. Okay. So after I was walking down the street for a little while, I said, well, I'm going to go back. So let me get this straight. He didn't throw you down. No. You weren't drinking. No. You were completely sober. Yes. And you went back. Yes. Get out of here. Go on with that nonsense. Now, one of the reasons that I started with stop getting drunk to smash is invariably 9 times, 10 times out of 10 times, alcohol and drugs are involved in these situations. So if you don't get drunk, chances are nothing's going to happen. And another reason that I'm going on about this is the misinformation, because this noise of rape culture, what is rape, what isn't, it's filtered out where this dude who's like, I understand why you did what you did, but that is in this current environment rape. He's actually posting a false narrative, which can create drama, which can create a situation where someone can seriously end up in jail because of this fear stuff. Know the law. I'm going to give you a little background on me. I was in a situation, a domestic abuse situation, where I was attacked by this woman. I called the cops. The cops believed me. Situation number 1. Situation number 2, my ex-wife. I came home from Northside Hospital. I was in scrubs. She was just in a pissy mood. I go ahead and we're just having this fight, and she's like, I'm going to call the police. They're going to come arrest you. Me, I just hand her the phone and she dials 911. I'll never forget this. There was this blonde-headed cop and there was this dark-headed cop, and they came around, and I was standing there like, oh my God, I'm going to jail. And the cop said these magical words, ma'am, I don't think he touched you, because no furniture was moved. I didn't touch her. He's like, big as he is, because I was diesel back then, you would be touched. He looked at her, because I didn't touch her. So once again, all of this stuff, because I had put down that if you're in a situation where there's domestic abuse, do not leave the scene of the crime. You leave the scene of the crime, you look guilty. And people are like, no, you gotta leave, man. You know, no, you moist dudes, you weak dudes, you ballless sacks of cowards. No, don't leave the scene. Stay there, state your case on the scene so you can be on the record, because what's going to happen if you're not on the record, her word's going to become gospel. Do not leave. Stay. Tell the police your side of the story before this thing gets really, really out of hand. And once again, the moist parade, the moist dudes who like, man, you can't win. There's nothing you can do to win. Oh, I'm just going to leave and hide and shiver and shake and moist asses. I mean, seriously. I mean, I'm getting a little upset, but also seriously, you should stay. If you're going to have a situation, you should stay. So let's go on to the sexual assault and the rape and all this stuff. Typically, most of this has nothing to do, well, let's say, if you're not drinking, if you're not doing drugs, the chances of this stuff happening are slim to none. And this is what happens when people drink. So you got this girl gassed up on that goose, and she's just doing this stuff. And then when she's sober up, she's like, was I really cool with that? Because women are weird like that. So I'll tell you a story of what happened to me. I was an E4 in the military, Fort McPherson, Georgia, East Point. And there was this girl I was feeling and was in a room. And, you know, I got her clothes off, nipples in my mouth. We're doing all this stuff. And just when I was getting ready to pull out, you know, Thor, she had this weird look on her face, just really, really weird. And I'm like, what is wrong? She's like, I don't want to do it. I'm like, you got me hard as Chinese arithmetic. We both butt naked, and now you don't want to do it. Fine, I'm out. Got up, put my clothes on, left in a huff. And what was very funny about this situation was the responses from women, because all my dudes, every last one of them said the same thing. You should have left her crazy ass. You did the right thing, because I'm just straight up. I know you like her and everything, but she's just weird to me. She's quiet and all this other stuff, right? So all my dudes were like, you did the right thing. Left her alone, cool. Now this is where things got really, really interesting. All my female friends said I should have took it. She was undecided. She didn't know what she wanted, and you should have been the man, and you should have made that decision for her. And these were women that I respected. This wasn't like one woman or two, because you know, back then I was very much a needy. I had to ask people. I didn't have my own opinions. I was still like young. I was like, what, 20? And all of my female friends were like, you should have tore that up. You should have took it. Every last one of them. I was like, what is going on? And here's the thing where so many people get in trouble. You got women who are unsure of themselves and unsure of their decisions. And when you have someone like that, you need to step back and you need to leave them alone, because they can have you caught up on a charge because they're flaky. They just got problems. Because one girl and a friend of mine, she told me she was dealing with this dude, and she was in this room, and he got her naked, and he just took it. And she said, I should have not put myself in that position. And since that day, I don't put myself in that position. And so you could argue that she was raped, but you can also argue that she took responsibility of her sexuality because she realized there were certain situations. I know this is going to be like blaming the victim, but if I go up and I hit a cop, right? And the cop's 250 pounds, he got a gun, and he beats me because I hit him. They're like, you shouldn't have hit that cop. You shouldn't have been messing with that cop. He beat you down. They beat you down. Yeah. But somehow when the gender becomes a woman, personal responsibility goes out the window. It's like, nah, we're not going to have personal responsibility here. And fortunately, that is changing. That is changing every day. But fellas, if you're in this situation, don't leave the scene. And before we get to this situation, do not be getting chicks drunk to smash. You got to be sober. And because the thing is, if you can't get her sober, leave her alone. Do not be with the fruity drinks and getting her all geeked up and all this other stuff, because once again, and I think more so now than ever, is social media, Facebook, people talk. So if this chick is kind of like unsure and you get her drunk, you could catch a charge. Think about that. Is it worth it? Is it really worth it? And with all of my stuff, let's going back to the East Point deal, she was sober. She wasn't drunk. She wasn't impaired. She was 100% sober when she was out there walking in the rain. When she made that decision to come back, she was sober. She was not drunk. She was not impaired. She was not unable to take care of herself. She was sober. And I've had many other incidences and things that have happened. The first dating advice for entrepreneurs, she was sober. She wasn't drunk. When I go out, I don't get women drunk. I can't remember the last time, if ever, I've had drunk sex. I can't remember that. I don't think it's ever happened. I'm not a big drinker. I mean, right now we got Crown Royal, all kinds of stuff, and I don't think I've had a drink in the last 3 months. Seriously. So I'm not a drinker, and I don't hang with drinkers. And you know what's something funny about drinkers? A lot of people who drink do not feel comfortable around people who do not drink. Because I remember Chili Will was like, I don't trust you, Cam. I was like, wow, you ain't drunk with us. You ain't drinking with us. It's like, man, I don't drink. And I remember we had a moment where they were like trying to make me drink. And I was just like, I am not drinking. I'll just, who's going to be able to drive your drunk asses back to Schofield? And they were like, you're right. We do need someone sober. All right, you can hang with us. And that was the end of the conversation. So understand this notion of getting chicks drunk. And we're going to really get into these weak scarcity men. And this is running trains. Let's talk about that. I have never been part of a train. And I'm going to tell you why. And it's not because I did not have opportunities. I think it's kind of gay that you going to go up in this chick after some other dude busted in this chick. Would you wear another man's underwear that you knew his nuts were hanging out in there? No. But you going to put your Thor, your Johnson up in there after he done busted. Or the double penetration thing where both penises are touching in porns. I'm sorry, those dudes are bisexual or gay. There ain't no way. I mean, my Thor ain't going to operate like that. It's just like, I could never shoot a porn scene. I could never. I'd be like, this is too much pressure here. I can't do this. And let's go with the scarcity mind. Because the thing is, if a woman is drunk and she is unable to grant consent and you take advantage of her, that is scarcity. That is weakness, because here's the thing, and this is one of the reasons that I was able to pick, choose, and refuse. I always had myself in a position where I was always able to get something else. And often I got better choices. So I never had this, oh, this is this one girl. This is my only shot. That's disgusting. It is. I mean, just running trains and, you see like 4, 5, 6, 7 dudes on one girl. It's disgusting because none of those dudes feel that they can get the woman that they want. So they take sloppy seconds, sloppy thirds, sloppy fourths, sloppy fifths, because they don't know how to be, quote, a man of abundance and abundant thought, because that's just crazy to me. But once again, I'm me, I'm different. I've looked at this thing from many different ways. So if you feel that some girl is drunk and you gonna take advantage of it, you are really a worthless individual. Because all this stuff I say up here, right, about, you know, handling chicks harshly, doing certain things, yeah, I do that. But they were all sober. And what you think about that? They were all sober. I've never, and like, I remember this one girl, and we was doing some freaky stuff. I don't know if I'm gonna tell y'all that story, but she was just like, I need to smoke some weed. I was like, no, you don't. No, you don't. And she's like, I need to, because I'm like scared. I'm like, no, you don't. And she smoked the weed and I did nothing. I like did nothing, because I'm like, you on this weed, you can flip out. Your mental state is altered. This could be some crazy stuff. This can be some junk. So I didn't do anything to her, and she was just like, well. So when you have these date rape situations, it is because the dude is weak. I'm going to just say it, because think about this. If you got to take advantage of someone who's impaired, that's like taking advantage of a child. It's wrong. But also the false narrative of certain activities, certain masculine things that are done to women are rape. That's also wrong and false and just crazy, because going back to this situation of she left and she came back of her own volition, it is not rape. She made a choice. But here's the danger. This is where the danger comes in. So you have this dude, right? And I deleted the comments because I know what can happen. So he's got this thing where this is rape, right? Then he's got this situation where someone sees it, but they tell the story a little different. And then someone else gets the story and they tell it a little different. And before you know it, Glendon has raped this chick and tied her up and cut her throat off and threw her body down some dark hole. Next thing I know, Mr. Cameron, we need to talk to you. Well, you got this video on YouTube, and we just want to make sure that, you know, something didn't happen to this young lady. I'm like, what? Because of the moistness, because dudes are afraid to claim their masculinity. Because here's just the thing. When you're in your masculine, you can do this stuff to chicks, and not only will they be happy, they will be with you, they'll even be loyal. But once again, you have to do it when they're sober. You cannot be doing this stuff when they're impaired. And I'm telling you, and I'm being repetitive. Do not be drinking and having drunk sex. Every time you see the special Bill Cosby pills, some other guy, alcohol. There's always some alcohol, roofie. There's always some part of it, because these dudes cannot get that chick sober. They can't. That's a problem for them. And what about this football player? He used to play for the Saints. Darren Sharper. Good looking guy, rich, but for some reason, getting women drunk or drugged up and having sex with them when they're like, all like this, got him off. There's something wrong with that puppy. Just straight up. There's a lot that's wrong with him. And you got people who are, I don't even know how to address that. You got people who are just mentally messed up. So I'm going to go into the chat room. Let's see what's going on in here. Evil A Bear getting laid without alcohol. It's very possible. It's extremely possible. Don't need that. What's up, Dill Pickle? I don't know who it is, but, you know, it's only one or two. Thank. Finally caught the G-verse from the start. Straight Rider. Good move on the text updates for the live streams. Once again, be sure to give me your number. Go below the video and opt in to the live stream notification list. Thank you, Straight Rider. L. Arginine, what's going on? E Chance, advanced panty dropping. Refining Chaos, what's up? Christian Emerson, Roll Tide. What's up, Estella? What's up, Tiger Sharks? TM, what's up? Christian Emerson, you should write a book called Hustling After Dark, The X-Tales. That's funny. What's up, Rob Nelson? What's up, C Squared? Jade. Let's see what it's E. Sanchez. Alcohol equals buyer's remorse. Get your gang like G-Man and the panties will take care of themselves off. Advice was free so you can get some G-Man's new classes, how to keep your dick wet, coming soon. I mean, you got to stay away from this alcohol. E-Chance, these are facts. All men should know how to protect themselves. Yes, indeed. Dill Pickle. I mean, hey, I could have rolled on diamonds. What's up, the Wild Jones Report? Dill Pickle, it's crazy that women told you to do it. That says a lot about women and their psychology. You picked up on that, Dill Pickle. Yes, it had me had my mind blown. E-Chance, that's when how you know it's bad, when you need a calculator to determine your hardness. C Squared, I'm going to leave that alone. Yep. Tone Lee, y'all take heed. I'm serious. High sex, drunk sex is the same. Don't do it. Sloppy seconds, definitely not a good look. I ain't crossing those swords with other dudes, period. He's just waiting quietly. Better to be safe than in some handcuffs. That is just the truth. Ben the bartender, damn right. If you can't pull him sober, you have no game. Michael Sinarski, I fully agree. I would not even do anything with a girlfriend unless she's under influence. No, girl. I mean, you gotta know him. Let's see. Thanks, souls. Refocus my thinking about what you want in. This is what I meant to do. All right. Refocus my thinking about what I want in a woman. Did what you said yesterday and nail down the kind of woman I want. Today made a meet with a woman who's a loan officer in the bank for tomorrow. Okay. Bill Cosby. Pharaoh, it's real. Space Donkey. I never looked at Derrick Rose the same after that ganging. Derrick Rose, really? He did that? I didn't know that. Same thing with women. They like to use alcohol as an excuse to be reckless, just like those men that use alcohol to get some. C Squared Labs, you are 100% correct. Young Brandon, a lot of kids are born to this. This is true. Definitely. Louis, so you don't need a woman to sign a disclaimer, but you do need her to be sober. Tone Lee, I feel the same way about trains. So I thought that shit was gay and unnecessary. I agree. Yeah, alcohol and drugs changes a person's personality. Let's see. A man will now allow you to waste his time and thus kick you out. Stop going to men's house at 3 a.m. if you don't want to have sex, as we men invite you over early to have sex and not talk bullshit. I mean, that's just the reality of it. Because one of the things about this situation that he left this, and it left me troubled, and it prompted me to do this, was there's so much false information out there. When a woman says that you raped her, there's a lot of things that go into that. And for the most part, most of the time it's true. But there's a growing number of false rape allegations, and it's problematic. So here's some ways that you can protect yourself. If she texts you that she's coming over to, and be graphic, because I had a situation. Oh, I can tell this story, and it's actually very fitting. I had a situation where this chick that I was doing some extracurricular stuff to said that, you know, she was thinking about turning me in. And I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. And I was like, wait a minute, what's going on? Because see, the thing is, I have a dossier of every chick and all this other stuff that I've ever been with. And I have pictures too. And I was like, really? He's like, yeah, I'm going to call the cops, because she was upset at me because I would not loan her some money. And yeah, I'm going to call the cops. I was like, call them. Call 911. Call them right now. And then I start screenshotting her all of the nasty stuff that she had said. I start screenshotting her pictures. Call them. And she's just like, you got pictures? That was the first thing. You got pictures? I'm like, yeah. You were there when I took them? Oh my God. I got all these texts. Yeah. Call them. You want me to call them? It was funny. So one of the things that I find to be interesting, and this really depends upon how much of you are into your man. And when I say that is, when you're into your man, your essence, you will not want certain chicks, regardless of how fine they are. You're not going to want them because they don't speak to your spirit and they don't speak to your soul. And typically, let's see, like, okay, let's call her Funky Coochie, right? She was Brazilian, hair to her ass, very muscular, pretty, but she was young and she had that funky coochie. And because of that funky coochie and some other stuff, I just wasn't interested. Now, I'm an evolved man. Now, you take somebody, yeah, they've been all on that, funky coochie or not. They've been like, well, whatever. This girl's a dream. But because I'm seasoned and I understand how these things go down, there is no need to submit yourself to funky coochie. And more than likely, you know, she had been out all day. She had been, you know, running errands. But the fact that she did not take a shower before she submitted herself to me, that was foul. I was just like, no. And that night, went and smashed another chick. So you got to be in your man, and you got to develop a position, a posture where you're just not limited to one woman, because the 99% rule, and this is in disruptive mating, there's going to be a handful of women that will come into your life that can be the one. Just a mere handful. The rest of them are just going to be A, a friend, and I'll talk about that in a minute, or B, for fun. Now, this is my policy for chicks who I'm feeling on a friend level. I don't flirt with them. I'm like, you a friend, you're going to be a friend. We're going to talk. I'm going to talk about other chicks. You're going to talk about dudes. And we're going to be cool like that because we're friends. And that's one rule that I have never broken, because there's an energy of a friend and there's an energy of someone who's more. And typically when I feel that friendship energy, I just let it stay. Let it stay, let it be what it is. Let's see what there were. What's up, Ray? Josh Barr, how can pro athletes and millionaires protect themselves from false accusations? Easy. Once again, usually this stuff is alcohol's involved. All right, so let's say I'm an NFL player and I got a nice contract. First thing I would do, and this is just me, I would get a vasectomy. And I would put some sperm on ice in case I wanted to have a kid later. So that's the first thing I would do. Snip, snip, burn, burn. That's number one, because you are a target, because any woman knows that she can have a kid by you and immediately increase her standard of living. Well, that's not really true. Let me step back from that. Chris Brown, the one that beat Rihanna, he got this girl pregnant. He has he has shared custody, and Chris Brown only pays $2,500 a month child support. Now, I want you to think about this. Chris Brown is someone who can go do a concert and make $1 million in a night. So $2,500, $30,000 a year. He spent more than that on sneakers. So I think, I know that it has changed. So, but here's the thing. A lot of these athletes they're young, they're impressionable. You got to realize a lot of these guys were in college a year or two ago, and they're not very seasoned in life because as a NCAA athlete, you don't have a lot of free time. So they're really kind of stuck at a certain level. But that's one way. Two, and here's another way. If you have a young lady, let's say I'm a pro athlete, and this young lady says, oh yeah, I'm pregnant by you. I'm going to be like, that's amazing. That's wonderful. You know what? Let's sit down here right now and plan out a parenting plan. And so I'll go grab a notebook and I'll write down what we're going to do and have her sign it. She can't get child support. See, a lot of folks don't know that. All right, this is what's called contract law, right? So this is what got me out of my child support. Essentially, we had an agreement where I would keep Madison during the day and she would keep her at night. And we work out other things, right? This was in the emails. I had all kinds of proof, right? And since she left the state and proved that, I filed for legitimization not once, not twice, but 3 times. And couldn't get her served. The judges, they were just like, no, you have no rights to the child, right? This is what they said. This is on the record. So I know this works. But see, a lot of people will not tell you this because of these false narratives that you as a man should just pay child support and go about your business. When the reality is, if you have a contract, a parenting contract with this woman stating what your responsibilities are, what her responsibilities are, and she signs it, she can't get child support. But no one's telling these athletes this because let's understand the child support system, the court system, the attorneys. If the attorney was like, well, I can drop this contract for you for $1,500, or I can go through this child support case with you and you pay me $250,000. You see where I'm going with this? It's not in their vested interest to tell you the truth. It's not in their vested interest to give you a cheap and economical remedy. Oh no, that's all kinds of stuff. Let's see, E. Sanchez. Whoa. Keep them qualified and cataloged. That's some real hustle camp shit. Dill Pickle. Michael Sinarski, trust is hard these days. People are so self-centered, so protect yourself like he's talking about. Yeah, because essentially a lot of women just already want to have a kid. So if you're rich, that's just a plus. Thank Louis, talking my son to college campus for visits. In the intro for prospective students, they have these signed consent forms. Crazy shit happening on college campuses these days. If the pink stink, you got to rethink. Oh, man. Y'all are going in. Pep 720. Once you're rich, love becomes an illusion, hence the curse of wealth. All things are due. No, that's not true. That's not true. Once again, it's about you becoming in your man. Because if you are steeped in your manhood, you could be poor and get a banging chick, and you can be rich and get a banging chick. And not only will they love and care for you, they would die for you. So that's not true. Let's see. Cuddle, really? Yep. Mike Tyson was a situation looking for a place to happen. Ben the bartender, he has good lawyers. Well, he has good lawyers, but the laws have changed. Let's say when we were going through the child support thing, she kind of said that, she was in school and she wasn't working. And the magistrate was like, you need to get a job. You need to be working. So you have to understand the bench is staffed by a lot of women who have kids, who work and have kids. So they're not really going for that. I will get a prenup and a parental contract. My mentor is worth 500 million. He told me that in my first lesson. Once again, I'm going to disagree with your mentor because, see, this is the thing. There's making money. There's getting in your man. There's personal development. There are a lot of well-off, rich guys. Let's take Weinstein. Okay, he's extremely well-off, right? But let's look at him personally. He's out of shape. He looks like his skin is jacked up. So he doesn't take care of himself. He's overweight. He looks like a piece of, he looks horrible, right? So he has money, he has fame, but he doesn't have his manhood. So if you get your manhood, you can have money, and the manhood is going to be more attractive to that woman than the money. Because all this stuff like, wealth is, love's an illusion. If you lead with your wealth, what do you think the woman's got to go on? Think about it. Ray LLC. Why do single women like married men? Because married men have proven that they can commit to one woman. It's an extremely attractive thing. It's like an aphrodisiac. Also, it goes into my 80-20 rule. I think 20% of the dudes are getting 80% of the trim. Married, single does not matter, because once you realize what it's like to be in your manhood, to be masculine, it's like I could show you stuff that would blow your mind. Because one, especially women with small children, they don't have a lot of free time. They don't get out a lot. So you can literally blow their mind real quickly. I think I better get my dog needed too straight right. Yep. This game is worth more than $1 million. Oh yeah, there's a lot of things like that parenting contract. A lot of folks don't know that, and the attorneys will not tell them because they can't make any money. Yep. Pep 7. Think again. Once you cross a certain number, point is people don't see you again. People only see you as a walking dollar bill. He was actually very modest, owned 60. No. Because if he was modest, he would not be thinking like this. No. I'm going to disagree because of this. I was poor, and because I was in my man, I was getting crazy chicks, and I stayed in my man. You see me, I wear like these shirts. A lot of people see me, they don't even think I got the bread that I have. And I don't tell them. It ain't none of their business. So once again, no, I'm not believing that. Pep 7, no, manhood is the subject. Let's talk about these guys who are rich but can't get women. They are one-dimensional. They can do this one thing and they can make a lot of money. But they have no charisma, they have no character, they have no swag. They're one-dimensional. See, when you get in your man and do what you're supposed to do, you have all that, plus you're doing the thing that you need to do that makes you bread. You become uber powerful. You become so powerful, the things that you can do. It's not a separate subject. It's all together, because this is why these guys with a lot of money are what I call half men. They can pay the bills, but they're boring, or they're lazy, or they're fat, or there's so many things that are wrong. Remember, I wrote a book, or part of a book, and I interviewed 200 women. So, once again, Pharaoh Phoenix, I did not know about parental contract. Where can I go find one? That's going to be hard, dude. There's not a lot of lessons about that. Tamara Sessions, women like married men because you get the benefits and the fun without the hassle. Send him home and let the wife deal with the drama and the dirty socks. Tamara is lit. Yeah, we're on different pages because he was actually, once again, look, one, I know what I know. And you can try to convince me what I know what I know. Like I said, if I open up on these dating advice for entrepreneurs, I may tell y'all some stuff, but I probably won't because I know for a fact that that is false. All right, so let's see. He was actually married for 30 years to a great woman who built. All right, why is he saying that if this woman built the wealth with him? See, that's incongruent. That's not incongruent. I'm not talking about getting women. We're talking about true love after wealth. I think it's very possible. I know it's possible. See, one of the things that you don't seem to understand is when you get in your man, and when your man infects this woman, she becomes addicted to you. It's very powerful. That's why I'm not like dropping all of these jewels, because a lot of you would abuse that and we can't have that. So that, once again, no, it's not. No. It's ganja. Tamara home record confirmed. Till I make my first 100,000, I'm not even going to bother, Tyrone. Well, I mean, look, here's the thing. Once again, I wanted to address the rape allegation and the false narrative of that stuff. I mean, that's the primary reason I'm here. You can have a great relationship with a woman if you know yourself, and many people don't know themselves because, like I said, as I've gone on this evolution, this journey of life, I've made some changes. I did not tell people what I did. I tell them I'm a writer, which is true, what I do, but I don't get into, I'm a writer. I have a YouTube channel. I have an online universe. I don't get in all that because, one, you come off like you are boasting. That's part of it. And two, it really, until you get to know them, it don't really matter. So that's one of the things. All right, so let's see where we are, because I know this one is a little dark, and I know this one is a little, it's real. I mean, the thing of the fact is that, you know, you don't need to be drinking and smashing these chicks. You really don't. And here's some guidelines. Check her body language when she's sober. If she's standoffish, if she really doesn't want to hug, leave her alone. There are more women. Don't get caught up on that stuff, because one of the things that I think is very sad, and this happened to this young man who was a football player, and Arthur Blank gave him a chance to play for the Falcons, but he spent 5 years in jail. So with conditioning, he was like 5-7 years behind all these other players, and he didn't make it. His life was ruined because of a lie. Ruined. And there's a lot of nasty, evil women out there like that, because here's the thing. No one wants to question a woman when she says rape. So those who are dishonorable slide into those social sanctions of protecting for the true rape victims, and that's where we had a problem. And I had this chick tell me this. She's like, yeah, that's true. But since it's true most of the time, if a few innocents go to jail, it's okay. I don't talk to that chick anymore because I'm like, you are crazy. Nigel, you should have a profile with that. Nah, I'm not messing with Antonio. Let's see. Ganja. No means no. I mean, really, think about it. Like, I'll break real with y'all on this YouTuber thing, right? I own half the channel. We were supposed to build it, and they just started freaking out when they realized that she had signed away a lot of rights. But I also realized what I was bringing to the table. And essentially, the relationship is just going to be screwed, so I'm just not going to do it. Everyone's like, you know, my girl was just like, you know, you should get paid for. I'm like, I'm going to let that go. I'm going to let, can I go? No, I'm going to let that go, because there's way more out there, because I left here and I went to California and I met so many wonderful people, and there's so many wonderful things you will get to see on this channel, the profiles and stuff. So I'm letting it go, because without trust, because one, I don't really trust them. There's some stuff that happened, and two, she's a little unstable, which would have made great video, but she's a little unstable. However, I personally don't believe in the human love. What woman broke your heart, man? What woman broke your heart? Because when I hear these dudes talking about, this is the thing. You know those torch songs that Lenny Wilkins, men love harder than women. So I don't know who broke your heart, man, but it's clear someone did. Let's see. How do you find your way back to yourself after being in a relationship for a long time and lose sense of yourself trying to become quote unquote one? One, you need to journal. You need to meditate. You need to take some time to yourself and rediscover what you like to do, because a lot of times, sometimes men and sometimes women, they compromise on what they want to do in their relationship, and it's not exactly a good thing. What's up? I'm able to catch you live. That's cool. NYC study found that 50% of rape accusations were false. Wow. Now, Pep, someone broke your heart, man, because you fighting me on this. You know, you could have been like, okay, you feel the different. And you were like, no, 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 this millionaire and all this other stuff. I'm like, dude, I know what I know. It's possible. It's hard. It ain't gonna happen every day. It ain't gonna happen every year. It may not happen every decade, but it's real. Can the reputation of someone accused of rape ever truly be repaired? I don't think so. Unless you really get ahead of this like early and you refute it, I don't think so. Unless they move to a town where no one knows about them, but you know, with Google and stuff, who knows? So, all right, this is it. You got your information. And protect yourselves. Don't be drinking with some chick and smashing, because a lot of bad things can happen. And also, don't fall prey to a lot of false narratives, because essentially there's a lot of really great women out there. And you just got to get up in your manhood to attract them to you. Because see, this is one of the things that I stopped doing. I stopped pursuing women. I presented who I was, and boom, they came in. So it was kind of like two people meeting on a certain plane versus me chasing, like, you know, someone wanted me to speak on Grant Cardone. Grant pursued his wife relentlessly, asked her out 30 times. I don't believe in that. I'm not going to do that. That's just not for me. So with that, I'm going to leave you guys. Be sure to give me your number. Get on the text notification list so we can get around all of this stuff with YouTube and email list. And yeah, I'm going to have some more. Now, the next dating advice for entrepreneur will be more on point. I just felt that I had to put this out here because there was so many people talking this noise. Like, no, it's just, you just don't go to jail for rape because she said so. There's an investigation process and other things. And a lot of women have committed false rape accusations for those flimsy little reasons, and they in turn went to jail. So with that, I will check you guys out later, and there might be dating advice for entrepreneurs tomorrow. So that's it for today. And oh, one other thing, for those of you who want hustle camp, because I'm like doing this for 48 hours. Hold on a second, I almost forgot about that. Let's see. Oh, hold on. So what I'm gonna do, because I got to kind of hang out for a while. Let's see, find the draft. All right, this is the live stream payment plan. if you want Hustle Camp and you want to get on that every 2-week payment plan for the $1,500, you can. So I'm going to put this here. That's the link. And after you make your payments, you would get access to Hustle Camp. Let's see. What's in here? Edward Wells Jr. We don't talk about the men that are sexually abused. These chicks are tough these days. There's a lot of bad stuff that goes down. Andre Vitalis, GC is called Seeking Validation. Pep 720. Why does everyone who speak from a logical place been hurt? Okay, first of all, I don't know you, so I'm going to put this like this. Essentially, the way that you kept trying to reinforce your thoughts, because I was done with it and you kept coming back. That's why I think you were hurt. I think you're running from something. I think some woman hurt you, or there was some woman you wanted you couldn't get. So you built up this wall of protection around yourself so nobody can get in and you can't be hurt. That's my thoughts. I could be wrong, but that's my thoughts. Rules from the shadows. That's funny. Okay, so there's that link for those of you who want it. I'm about to shut this off. It'll probably be live for 5 minutes. So if you want to be part of the Hustle Camp for that old price, you can get it. So with that, I will check you folks later. Deuces.